It's time to put the wheels up in the air and keep them there with this episode of Lucas Oil on the Edge. This week, we're taking you to the wheel stand competition in Byron, Illinois. In the past, we've seen monster wheel stands and exceptionally exciting wrecks at this event. There's $10,000 on the line for the winner, and these drivers will stop at nothing to claim the top prize.
Go! Got it tacked up, and if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control. I'm on the edge!
Nice! We're in Byron, Illinois. It is the 15th annual World Power Wheel Stand Competition. Kent Stout, Brian Olson, and Ted Brunson ready to call all the action for you. This is sweet stuff, baby. Forget about ETs, forget about mile per hour. It's how far you can drag the back bumper here today. And that's a good look at what they're going to be doing.
Under the hood of that Mustang is over 900 horsepower once that nitrous oxide kicks in. And you need it. You need that torque and the horsepower to pop the wheelie, to have that wheel stand here. It's the 15th annual Byron Wheel Stand Competition. You see cars of all types, shapes, and sizes, from the small to the large to the wagons to the 39 Willys to the Mustangs, Camaros, you name it. Now, how do you win? How's it judged? 4 categories: the longest wheelie, the highest wheelie, the most photogenic, and of course, the most violent. Now, when I say most violent, I mean it. You look at the years past, these guys have rolled some cars, some very scary wrecks. Of course, safety is number 1. Now make that number 2, because crowd pleasing is number 1. What is going through your mind right when you're ready to go?
Well, I guess excitement, adrenaline, it's a rush. I mean, this is my rush. I get 180 feet of freedom. We're just hanging the wheels out there. We're having a good time doing it.
Try to get the longest wheel stand out the hole, get that 10 grand. That's what's going through my mind, that money.
Hey, as long as the car goes straight, my heart's going like here you go, right here. I mean, I got a lot of things on my mind, but hopefully it goes straight and I can come out of it.
Okay, round 1 action here. We'll take a look at our General Tire lineup. This is the running order as they'll come out here. We see Ambrosini down there at the bottom, but anybody can win this one. Great looking Mopar right off the bat.
And Fiorelli comes out of that number 3 spot. AJ's been doing it a long time, but that's not who we're going to watch first. We're going to watch this guy right here, Larry Jelinuski in his 69 Barracuda. And I'm sure that's not what he's after. Now watch, he'll slow this car down. If you get to a certain point, we'll watch again on replay. That's not going to get you anywhere, Ken, as you well know, in this competition. Slow it down by a certain point in the track, you back up and do it again.
Launches at a little higher RPM, a little bit better, but it's not going to win the competition here. But still, I mean, even those style wheel stands, everybody loves them.
Good old-fashioned super stock style wheel stand right there's what you're looking at, and unfortunately not quite as long as what we will see throughout this event here today. Now this is a bizarre Pontiac right here. Big cubic inches, 2 massive carburetors on top, and nitrous oxide for Chris Chinook.
Yeah, baby, that's what we're talking about. That's dragging the back bumper. Great looking start. That's a pretty violent wheel stand.
And you can see he kind of rides the wheelie bars. What happens here, Ken, is that offsets the rear wheels and unloads the tires, puts that baby back on the ground.
Speaking of that, rear tires and the air pressure that are in them are critical if these guys are going to go straight. They have to get the longevity here. Of course, we just saw a big wheel stand, but they need to carry it out as far as possible.
AJ Fiorelli's been doing it for a long, long time. And AJ's one of those guys that's done it so long, he'll tell you right up front. Now, a lot of guys won't tell you. We watch it again in replay.
Unloads the rear tires right there, completely up in the air. That's where he lost it.
He's been doing it for a long time. Watch it from the in-car. Now, AJ, again, I was going to tell you, he's one of those guys that'll be factual with you. He'll say, yeah, I got nitrous on this car. Yeah, I got 200 pounds hanging off the back bumper. Most guys won't tell you any of that stuff.
Again, slams it on the back a little too hard, unloads those rear tires. You want to try to walk it up there if you can. It's actually very difficult. You need the right amount of momentum, right amount of power to kind of power the front end up and still drive it out.
will do that with a nitrous button on the steering wheel. Get it up a ways and then start using the spray to add the power. That's generally how they'll get the job done. Once you hit that bumper, though, you're pretty much over it once you unload the tire. Window pools Corvette up next. We've seen windows go up against the guardrail before here, Byron.
Window pull. Launches it really hard there, and I've got to tell you, there's certain style of cars here as well that kind of dictate a good wheel stand, and it has to do with the height of the back of the car to let the car rotate up in the air. That's not a brand new painted car right there.
That is a way, way cool old nostalgia Nova. Greg Brocious' car, old straight axle underneath the front 63 Nova, and there's that big gap you're talking about underneath the back of the bumper, the gap between the ground and the back bumper. He's up there pretty high, but once again, unloads the tires when he hits a bumper.
That's how they got the term dragging the back bumper.
One thing's guaranteed for a Lucas Oil on the Edge show, and that's excitement. One of the wheel stand competitors take it too far and put it into the wall. Who is it? Find out when we return.
The On the Edge telecast is brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world. General Tire, unleash the fury. And Byron Dragway, the playground of power since 1964. We're back here at the wheel stand competition. Having an awesome time here, and sweet looking ride right there, baby. Got a little candy on that one.
Yeah, that's the old candy tangerine. Kind of looks like the old color we used to call persimmon. Kind of what it looks like, a cross between tangerine and candy red.
Chris Percola.
Ken, that is a 39 Willys sedan. You think he ain't carried some weight there? Look at it from behind. No bumper to scrape there at all. He's scraping the pipes. Oh, that is a great shot from in-car.
Sweet looking ride, man. Looks like your average street rod out there doing some monster wheel stands with it.
I mean, that is a show winner by looking at the interior and the exterior as well. Man.
Speaking of sweet looking cars, here comes a nice looking IROC driven by Mike Jones.
No wheelie bars in the back of this one. Little 10-inch tire car. Oh, baby!
Woo! That's what we're talking about. No, don't do it, man.
I was concerned. Watch the wheels. Watch the front wheels. Now watch while this thing's in the air. They'll continue getting turned to the right. You got to think automatically, oh no, when he gets to the ground, what's going to happen? Shot to that guardrail.
And I'm going to tell you right now, that thing wasn't even thinking about coming down.
No.
I mean, he had the whole left lane to work with yet. Because he's probably already going about 120.
Rob LaCroix, this is the guy that a couple of years ago had the Schubert just turned over all the way backwards, and he's on a great run, Ken. Whoa! He is on his side, Rob LaCroix. We'll keep our fingers crossed here and hope that everything's safe. And
I can't believe it slid all that way and never completely rolled. But talk about a guy that was not going to lift no matter what. On the throttle still, I think. It just landed, it never rolled.
You see the rear tire still spinning. Watch it again on replay. Gets on the bumper. Left rear tire comes off right when it starts to hook. When it's on its side, he's still got her wide open.
Well, this is not what the crazy Canuck expected to happen right here, wadding up this nice little Sunfire. I'll tell you what, one heck of a run. The crowd loves it. You hate it, but you say you're coming back.
I'm coming back. I'm putting it back together. There's my tube, in fact, right now.
Yeah, we heard the squeal. The tube is here, ready to go.
That's right.
If you look at this thing right now, you'd say, no way. No way is this thing going to get back on the track. Give us a rundown in 10 seconds or less of what exactly you're fixing with this thing.
I'm getting it up to the line so that I can roll this thing right over on its roof for the fans this time. This one's for the fans.
You don't even want to go through what you're fixing. You just want this thing to be able to run and just flip it.
That's it. That's all.
He's standing there grinning from ear to ear, man. He had a blast. Talk about flipping one over. This guy's no stranger to doing that. We're talking about Mr. Ambrosini.
It's his 10th year. Brian Ambrosini, he's back every year, and the crowd loves this little orange gremlin. Big discrepancy 2 years ago in 07 when he lost to Steve Blue. Tried to get his car back out. They wouldn't let him run, but this is who they come to see.
There is why Ambrosini is so well respected. Watch him feather that throttle. That thing never hits the back bumper in order to unload that tire and had that thing right in the air. He's the best at pedaling the throttle while in the air.
Will Rob LaCroix be able to shake off the cobwebs and repair his car in time for a second round? Come back and find out.
Time for round 2 from Byron Dragway for the wheel stand competition, the playground for power. Wendell Poole will be the first one up with that black Corvette.
Now, Wendell Poole has been here a lot of years, maybe not quite as many as Brian Ambrosini, but Wendell's had more than his fair share of brushes with the guard wall, but continues to come back. And just like Rob LaCroix, I will say this, I don't think Wendell built this car purposely for this, but he continues to come back, no question, and tries to put on a show for the fans.
You can actually see that right rear squat a little more than the left rear. Consequently, the car was going to the right.
That's exactly right. You could tell which tire hooked up the most on the back of the car. Wendell let that thing settle down and took it right down the middle. This car's got to be the coolest car of the event.
I'm glad you like it, man. I bet you'd like to put a little paint on that, huh?
No, I don't think I would. I'd just love to have that thing just to drive it. It'd be cool. I'd put taillights and the battery and headlights in it and ride it right on the street, baby.
Oh, no.
And I'd see if I could do that coming off the stoplight in town. That's a tough
straight
break.
axle in the front, snaps a spindle right off, left front gone. He did do a monster wheel stand, though.
Wedges right underneath the car and does that left front wheel. You actually see they got the cable hooked up. And, man, you are on board with that 39 Willys sedan. That car, I have a hard time believing. A lot of times, some of the guys, I go back to the days of Jason Schubert, who is here this weekend, racing these show quality cars.
Alan Percola does a beautiful job with it that time.
That is a nice looking run for Percola. But what happened there is having a number of drivers, that thing hits a little bit harder on one side than the other. In car,
He's steering it too. I mean, it's just a natural reaction. You want the thing's going to the left, you steer to the right, and he's backed it up. He's going to try it again. Nice and straight that time.
Certainly one of the big crowd favorites here this weekend. As we watch it again from the far end camera, you can see standard mufflers on this car, and this baby's probably got license plates on it as well. That's a good looking run. And here comes one of the big time crowd favorites right here, in Jason Schubert.
Yeah, back in 2005, watch this, man. He put on a show. Unfortunately, in the process, he went for quite a ride and tore up one of the most beautiful drag cars you'll find anywhere. Needless to say, he's had plenty of time to get that one back together. Well, that's not the wheel stand he was looking for here today, Brian.
Well, he clearly got his car rebuilt. It's one of the finest pieces of equipment anywhere in the world. I mean, from the front to the back. This car is meticulously detailed. Once again on video from the back of the race car, Jason just not able to get that thing in the air. Once again, from the far end of the racetrack, up in the air, hits the bumper, offsets the rear wheels, and he's off to the sideline.
Tough break for him. Hey, stay with us. Oh yeah, more of that to come.
All right, round two continues on. Larry Jelinuski back up, and that Plymouth Barracuda comes to the line. The Spot Me 4. And again, you'll see a lot of license plates on these cars this weekend, believe it or not.
Yeah, I really like that one. That's pretty cool, man. 69 Plymouth Barracuda. They really kind of ran out of gear right there.
You can hear that thing, man. You're right, because he had to shift it really fairly quick. And unfortunately, that was kind of the demise, but he got a chance to get a shutdown in time. Come back.
Not going to be enough to win out here today. We'll have another look at it.
Larry Jelinuski's machine, that bright yellow 69er. And unfortunately, that won't give him any win lights here today.
All right, under that hood, capabilities of over 900 horsepower. Now, AJ Fiorelli has not used that nitrous yet. But first of all, let's talk about, a lot of people don't understand how in the heck you can go on two wheels down the quarter-mile track. It seems impossible to a lot of people, but not with that much power, right?
Correct. A lot of power, and you got to launch hard, get your RPMs up high, have a good gear ratio, and just let everything hang out, let it fly off the line.
Now, you do have some weight distribution in the back. How much weight have you put in the back to help you get down to that bumper?
I have about 200 pounds in the back. I put it in last year. Most people won't even say they have weight in the back.
Because
But
they just say it's all about the power, right?
correct. Nobody wants to admit they have weight or nitrous. I have nitrous on it obviously too, but I've never ran it yet. We'll see what happens today. Actually, I don't even have a bottle in it now because with the cold temperatures we have today, we have tons of horsepower and we just got to get it to stay up.
AJ, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for the little tech information.
No problem.
It's pretty cool of him to come out and say that. Part of the tricks that they play out here to come out here and win this game.
He's one of the seasoned veterans in this thing. I mean, he's been here a lot of years as well. And, you know, Fiorelli and the Fiorelli family, they don't just run this car here. They run it all over the place, and they're one of the best.
Again, nice and high. I mean, very vertical right here, but it does unload those back tires. And if he can just find that little sweet spot without unloading those back tires, he'll be able to drive it that way for a long, long ways. I mean, some 300-plus foot.
This is a time, to me, Ken, where I think you need that nitrous. You get to that point, if you hit that button, give it about 150. Without unloading the back, you can keep it up there.
That, or when it's coming back down, you can pop it right back up there. Great onboard shot. Give you an idea of what those guys are seeing. Of course, using some peripheral vision, looking out of the left to try and keep an eye on where that car is in the lane.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can really do. And like I said, Fiorelli's, I don't even really think they actually raced that car. This car, meanwhile, was a former Super Stock Eliminator car that Chris Sanu brings along, his 72 Firebird, put a bunch of power in this thing, and he runs around and does wheel stand competitions all over as well.
Always loved the way the old Formula Firebirds look. That one looks sweet. And again here, pretty nice wheel stand. I mean, nice and straight, up nice and vertical, carries it out a good distance. That's pretty solid effort right there.
And it's not really one of the most lightweight cars on the property here as well, Ken.
Yeah, just some of the stunts that were going on here in Byron. Stay with us. The On the Edge telecast is brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world. General Tire, unleash the fury. And by Byron Dragway, the playground of power since 1964.
We're getting down to the end of the wheel stand competition, and we still have two heavy hitters yet to run in the second round. Brian Ambrosini will be giving Rob LaCroix a run for the money when he comes to the line. In the past, the most spectacular crash has outweighed the longest wheel stand for the winning run. Will history repeat itself here today? Let's take a look and see.
Thanks, Angela. You know, I bet given the opportunity, Angela would climb inside of one of these things and put it on the back bumper.
There is no doubt in my mind. They ain't much scares that kid, I can tell you that. Here's Mike Jones back up again. You notice? No wheelie bars here whatsoever. And not a big fat tire underneath that car. And a great job here for Mike.
Oh, yeah, that one definitely has a shot at winning something out here today.
These cars, those 90 to 94, 95 model IROC type Camaros, in fact, late 80s as well, did have great weight transfer. You see a lot of them in the super stock category. They just make good race cars, and they got good weight distribution as well.
Well, don't ever count this guy out. He is a fan favorite, Brian Ambrosini, 74 Gremlin. Just ain't flying the car, man. He's trying to take it easy, and that thing's wanting to just do nasty stuff, man. Look at that.
It's got so much power. You know, you can remember the days when that back bumper came off that car.
Look at him, man. He pulled a couple of gears to try and take some of the aggressiveness out of it.
Went from low to second gear while that thing was in the air. Now, I'll tell you one of the advantages Ambrosini's car's got over the rest. He's real short on the back half of the car. In other words, he doesn't have a lot of overhang out of the back of that car, and as a result, he's able to get it up and keep it up a little longer with the front wheels in the air.
Exactly what I was speaking about before. The design of the car plays a critical part. And look who's back. Can you believe it, man? He slid that thing the better part of an eighth of a mile down the track last time we saw him. And somehow or another, they have fixed that thing good enough to come back out and try again.
Well, he had the most spectacular run in the first round. Rob LaCroix told me that he'd be back. I didn't believe him. He is back. This guy is ready to go. Now, he told me that he's going to flip it and do one for the fans. Rob, are you a man of your word?
I'd say he probably is. He hung her wide open. He may have left Byron driveway as something to remember him by with some oil here. Look at that thing.
And it didn't go over. I mean, that's as far as you can go without one going over. And then buzz the motor right there. Woo! It's the highest the back tires have ever been in the air.
Well, Rob LaCroix, you said that you would be back. And you made it back, buddy. I'll tell you something. I think that Byron has a new favorite in town all the way from Canada. How in the world did you get this thing back together and pull off that violent wheelie?
Good friends, man, and good people down here at Byron helped me do this. This was for the fans, this one, guys.
I gotta tell you something. You said that you were gonna flip it for the fans. You didn't need to flip it.
No, I did.
Left, right, almost on your roof, but boy, what a run you had.
Thank you very much.
With some help and support from the folks at Urban Action Hillbilly Videos, LaCroix. To me, the top finisher. We'll wait for the final results here.
They are the final two, along with Brian Ambrosini. And the overall going to Ambrosini. That is a shocker. I got to call it LaCroix.
Brian, I gotta tell you, this was a close one. How did you feel before they announced that you were the winner? Congratulations, first of all. But
Thank you.
Between you and Rob, it was a tough call.
It's tough. It was tough. He's kind of crazy, but you know, I've been talking years. I want to put it on the roof, but we'll let him put it on the roof, and we'll just keep smiling, be happy.
You had this thing definitely on the bumper. I think you also won the longest wheel stand as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you seem awfully calm for a guy who's won. This is your 10th year who's done this, but you've done this. But it's been a long time coming. You wanted this victory pretty badly today.
Yeah, I did, and so did my family and all my crew and everybody else too. So.
I think about 4 years ago I saw you and your kid was about up to here on you, and now he's almost as tall as you. So, and you're still going, man.
We're still going. We'll be back next year.
Hope you enjoyed this week's show. For Ken Stout, Brian Olson, and Ted Brunson, I'm Angela Jenkins. Log on to speedtv.com and link over to newwavetv.com for a list of upcoming OTE shows like ice racing, desert racing, drag racing, and much more. Remember, you're not living unless you're on the edge.